Dude, what a fucking sick ass entrance that was, man.
Wow.
That theme is awesome. The big gong is awesome. Gary Hart is awesome. Just the swagger. I mean, and even Gary Michael Capetta. And now for something totally different. Check this out.
California. He weighs 252 pounds. He is the world television champion. Accompanied to the ring by Hotstuff Eddie Gilbert. The champion is Sting.
You know what I just noticed this past week watching the show? Justin Roberts, instead of saying this is Sting, he says that is Darby Allin. I thought that was cool.
Wow. Yeah.
I never noticed that until this week.
Yeah, you're right. I never noticed that. That was the first time when you said it. I'm thinking, wow.
He says this is Sting, but for Darby, when he introduces him first, that is Darby. I was like,
Darby.
look there.
That's pretty cool.
And look at Sting, man. This is maybe one of the first times in his career we really started to see him invest in his presentation. You know, for a while there, Sting didn't have these sort of jackets, and we know they're going to get more and more fancy and elaborate as we go. But this is widely regarded, Tony, as being one of, if not perhaps the very best WCW pay-per-view of all time. Great American Bash 1989. I know so many of my hardcore WCW and NWA fans, they count this as one of their very favorite shows. We've got a double ring here. Nick Patrick is going to be our referee. And we got Eddie Gilbert there to support Sting, and Great Muta has Gary Hart in his corner. This presentation of good and evil, the bright neon colors of Sting, who just jumped out of one ring and into another. Man, what a great classic 80s look and vibe this match is.
Yep, he just shot right by Klondike Bill. Klondike's got the red suspenders on.
Okay.
If you want to notice down at the there, he's got a cap on, he got red suspenders.
I see him.
And he's got a headset on. Don't know what he's doing. Well, I do know what he's doing. He's checking out women. He's not watching the match.
Is he getting cues from the truck?
Yeah, I think he's ringing the bell. I think he's our bell ringer. Or their bell ringer. Where was this? Where was this venue?
Let me throw that in our Google machine real fast. Great American.
While you're doing that, I'm thinking that I'm just amazed. Muta was way ahead
Baltimore.
of his time.
Duh. I should have known that.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Sting's so far ahead of his time. I mean, think about what we're watching. This is 1989.
Yeah.
And it would be easy for you to be convinced that this is 1995.
One of the things that gives it away is the safety rails.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's old school.
That really is old school. I like the buntings on the side of the ring.
I was looking at that the same way. You know, for Great American Bash, that works.
Yeah, it sure does. And I'm very interested to see. There's Tim Smith, who was setting up on the with the camera there on the side. One of the camera. It's Tim. Tim was around for a long time. Matter of fact, I was really surprised he's still not doing wrestling with us. I guess he's been with Turner for a long time.
This same show, by the way, the very next match, we've got Lex Luger and Ricky Steamboat. That's going to be Steamboat finishing up here in WCW. Think about that too. Or right after his feud with Ric Flair in 1989, he did a very brief feud. I mean, because that feud with Rick only ends in May in Nashville. Here we are in July. He's finishing up with Luger.
Okay, so for Steamboat, he left NWA and went to the WWF.
Well, he was out for just a while. I don't think he showed up in the WWF until 91. So he just like ran his gym or whatever for a year and change. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
When you chart his career, man, there's some interesting, like, wait, he left then?
When was WrestleMania 3? What year was that?
87. That was 2 years prior to this.
Okay. So he came back.
Yes.
What I'm saying. He left and came back, then left again. And then, as we know, came back as the surprise a partner for Dustin Rhodes. Remember?
Yep.
So he left, came back, left, came back.
He did that a lot through his career,
Yeah, I know.
but he didn't
How
have
about how about him coming out as a special timekeeper?
so cool, man.
Wasn't that cool?
It was really cool.
I mean, when and I don't know how much I got across on the telecast, but when I know we all think about Ric Flair in the
Right.
Greensboro Coliseum, but buddy, Steamboat at the Greensboro Coliseum, the money he drew, holy smokes! I didn't even mention the final. What was it called? The final confrontation, or the final the match that he and Jay Youngblood had against Sergeant Slaughter and Don Coronado. That they turned him away at the Greensboro Coliseum. That was like 80 or 81, something like that. Early 80s.
By the way,
Right
I
before
guess
I got-
I guess I need to apologize. Technically, Ricky worked 2 other shots for you guys. He did
Okay.
a house show in Orlando 5 days later, and then the day after that, he did TV at Center Stage, and then he was finished. I guess that's when he finished up. But this is his last major match with
Right.
WCW here for a few years.
Notice, I want to tell you how smart, as we're looking right there, how smart that Muta is.
Okay.
He sees cameras and he makes sure that he's got that. See that rear chin lock? He makes sure that he's got the rear chin lock facing the camera.
Yes.
He switched around. There's another camera, as you can see, sitting behind there. Okay, but he knows TV, and it's just, to me, it's just amazing. That's the sign of a pro right there. Went from one camera, face to the other camera. He's just doing a great job. Great performer. I didn't really get the chance to work with him that much.
Were you on the call for this show?
No, I'm in the WWE.
That's right. What month did you leave?
I left in. I think I left in February.
Okay, so you've
Of
been gone for
89?
a few months now.
Yeah, and I say that because I went early, and then
That's right. You
Well,
came
yeah.
back after 6. Yeah.
right. Yeah, I was there for WrestleMania 5, but I was there before WrestleMania 5. I was there for a couple of months, working behind the scenes.
Man, it's so cool to me. Of all the WrestleManias, you were there for 5 and 6. Those are my 2 favorite WrestleManias in my whole life. Like
How about
my
that?
entire
Huh?
fandom, 5 and 6, man. Those are it for me. And you were there for both.
Yeah. How about that?
Turns out maybe I like my wrestling with little Tony Schiavone.
Isn't that something? There's been a Tony Schiavone thread right through your fandom.
That's when you think about it.
Yes, it is.
By the way, I got to see old Slapdick Schiavone last week. It was really nice to catch up with your son, who's on the band of Merry Misfits with AEW. And boy, he just dove off knee deep in the wrestling business, didn't he?
Boy, did he ever. Head first. Got a chance to introduce him to Nikita Koloff and Magnum TA
That's awesome.
and Scotty Riggs this past weekend.
By the
That
way,
was cool.
shout out to DDP and Buff Bagwell and Scotty Riggs. Man, Scotty Riggs looks like another human. He looks like he's ready to do some spokesmodel stuff, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Scotty came out to one of our events. I think maybe it was last year when we were in Atlanta. And I saw Scotty and I'm thinking, wow, Scotty's really, really changed. And then, of course, if you saw the DDP video about the
Fantastic.
transformation of the American males, you know where Scotty came from. But how about that?
Oh,
Spitting in the face.
missed right for Nick Patrick. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, man. And so Nick takes a bump. And now no referee. And now, of course, Stinger splash.
Oh, he
I
misses.
bet he misses. Yeah. I think sometimes we forget how good a worker Sting became.
Yes.
I mean, just
Boy, when that
the reason-
moonsault happened for Great Muta, was that one of the cooler moves you ever saw? It's not
Yeah.
only that he did a moonsault when nobody else did. I mean, I guess technically maybe a few people down in Texas had been doing it, but Muta was the first guy I saw do it. And man, it felt
Yeah.
like he did it 2/3 of the way across the ring, like
Yes.
60% across the ring. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, I there you go, and Sting wins it. How about that one?
Oh, listen to that pop.
All right, both men were down. Who's won it? Ladies and gentlemen, the winner and still World Television Champion, Sting!
Man, I love that old theme. Man, that crowd, this Great American Bash crowd, Baltimore, man, it's a WCW / Jim Crockett promotion / NWA town, is it not?
Yeah. Boy, it is.
Oh, look at the
It
old
really
double
is.
referee controversy. Oh, and now they're raising Muta's posing with the belt here.
Well, we have both men's shoulders were down. That was the controversial part. I think the referees may have a somewhat of a discrepancy here. Nick Patrick cannot see. Well, let's go to our replay.
So we've got Doug Dillinger on the outside. We see Tommy Young on the inside trying to explain what the hell happened to Eddie Gilbert and Sting. But Muta and Gary Hart and Nick Patrick have all left. And Muta has the NWA television title. What do you think about pay-per-views that have this kind of controversy? This normally feels like a Dusty thing, but
Yeah, immediately I thought of Dusty finish.
he's not even there at this point. He's wrestling
No.
around in polka dots at this point.
No, yeah, for a pay-per-view, let's take a look at the replay and see they got the right shoulders down here.
Well, I mean, it looks to me like Muta got that shoulder up right there at the end.
Okay.
See,
One.
Sting's shoulder's never down.
Right.
Yeah, and Muta's shoulder was up.
So the match still should be going on.
Yeah. It's that nothing.
Nobody
It's that nothing
yeah.
happening, Tommy Young.